Greetings, friends. Welcome to our time together in the circle for the new moon groups check-in. We meet every month this year around the new moon to share our recognitions, to share revelations that we received in our groups. It's a special year for all of us esoteric servers, aligning and meditating together with the hierarchy on the unfolding plan for the next 100 years. So this is our opportunity to compare our notes and to inquire the way together, the way forward. So the question that we hold in our group focus is, what are our recognitions of the past months since we met last time at the time of the Scorpio new moon? And this time it's special. So we are preparing to enter the Capricorn gate of the solstice. And the new moon was yesterday. For us here in New York, it was last night. And it's also very special because this new moon was very closely aligned with the galactic center. The Earth, the moon, the sun were pointing right into the galactic center. It's a beautiful alignment that happens every year around this time. So it's good time to be together, to hold our space and listen and share. Let us start with a short alignment. Helping us to align, coming together in one space in preparation for our work. So let us turn off our videos and try to leave besides all the fuss and buzz of our mundane lives, focusing as souls in the group chalice, group heart that we form with our focused intention, opening it upwards towards the hierarchy. And let us hold a few minutes of receptive silence. we sound together the mantra of the group of world service. May the power of the one life pour through the group of all true servers. May the love of the one soul characterize the lives of all who seek to aid the great ones. May we fulfill our part in the one work through self-forgetfulness, harmlessness, and right speech. So I invite us now to activate our videos. And just a technical note that we have activated the translation captions. So in order, if you speak any other language than English, please choose in the menu your language and choose the language that you want that uh, the text will be displayed on your screen. So you can find it in the menu in the uh, captions in the bottom of your screen. So we are opening now the floor, and I invite us not to worry much if there will be not many words will be shared, and if there will be silence. And let us hold silence as a receptive space through which we share. So, what are our recognitions of the past month? Recognitions of the unfolding plan. The plan as it is meditated in the hierarchy this year for the next 100 years. I might start with the interesting question that was asked a couple of days ago at one of group meetings we had, uh, when a friend from Argentina asked, there was so many expectations of the year 2025, and there seems to be not nothing very obvious that's happened in relations to the externalization of the hierarchy of the or the appearance of the Christ. What does it mean? And it was a very interesting question to reflect. And uh, one of the answers that came was that if we think about the year 1925, 100 years ago, what recognitions could be received and recognized by disciples at that time, in December 1925, and probably not that many either. But the recognition started unfolding in the coming years and decades the fact of the new group of world service was openly announced only in 1935. So just as a uh, note to put things in perspective. Of course, things are much more intense now and much more things happening much more fast. And yet, I think there are certain recognitions that are emerging in the group fields. And because similar ideas start sounding in different groups. And when we meet like now, we have a chance to compare our notes. And so, with all humility, let us share. Jacqueline, please unmute yourself.
Is this the right volume? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm experiencing it's in my community and in my travels that more and more people in spiritual groups are opening to the hierarchy through various books that have come out that are not DK or Rokosi or Master Moria's, but they're coming to it from a different point of view and honoring that there's something going on, even if it's not a concrete idea of a hierarchy. I'm seeing that. And I'm also experiencing so many diverse people in our communities now coming together over politics. And the thing that's uniting people right now is not necessarily what we're for. I see more people uniting about what they are against, but it's still a point of unification. There's still a point of rejecting something. And I think that that is a beginning of evolving into a consciousness of not only what are we against, but what are we for. And what I see in younger people coming into this about what people are against is more and more creative ideas about the institutions that they're involved in. So, for example, with young women in my community of many colors, they are coming together in the sense of human rights, not just women's rights. I see the women's movement evolving also into more inclusiveness of rights of the various gender issues and beyond race. And so I see more and more emergence of a oneness of humanity, even though it's not being self-consciously one. And yet the movement is toward that. And so many creative ideas of the group. It's not, they don't use word terms like group consciousness, but we should connect with other groups to do this project. Where are the other groups? And I'm just seeing this thread of consciousness into the power of the group. And so because people see it as a power of group work, even though they're not as deeply conscious of the soul life of the group consciousness within themselves, they're still manifesting it as a thought form. So that's something I'm very encouraged on many levels right now from the masses of people that I see. Films coming out in terms of creative arts, the arts community, murals painting buildings all over our town, So those are things that I'm seeing, and I think those are really real beginnings of a shift. Thank you.
I can make a quick comment as Jacqueline was speaking, made me think of something, and that was of the Eastern philosophy, Vedic philosophy of Indra's web. And in that, I was seeing that the web was coming truly into its own, so to speak, and all of the consciousness on many different levels being connected, and the brightness and the light of that web becoming a much more prominent around the globe.
En français, est-ce que vous entendez? Mettez les sous-titres. Merci.
And Christine,
Oui,
the translation doesn't show up correctly. Did you
yes.
your language as French in the captions? Your
Je
speaking
mets
language.
langue anglais, langue English,
French. You should just select French and then it will translate correctly in the captions.
French, yes. I select French. It's
Okay.
good?
Yes, now it's good. Yes.
D'accord, merci. Euh, le- En lien avec ce que tu viens de dire, Francis, euh, avec le tissu d'Indra, voilà, la connexion aussi, c'est une impression que il y a une énergie qui est en train d'arriver, qui est une énergie de vie. C'est comme si c'était et qui arrive insensiblement et pourtant sensiblement. Euh, mais c'est pas encore complètement, c'est pas encore concret. Et c'est la vie en fait. J'ai l'impression que c'est un autre aspect, que c'est comme si c'était un autre aspect divin. Quelque chose de complètement nouveau qui a pas encore, enfin, nouveau, le Christ l'a déjà perçu, évidemment, hein, la hiérarchie l'a déjà perçu, mais l'humanité pas encore. Euh, et que cette énergie de vie qui est amenée par Shambhala, et qui est amenée par ce contact direct et qui s'établit avec Shambhala, entre Shambhala et l'humanité, hum, qui s'extériorise, qui s'extériorisera de plus en plus aussi par les Nations Unies renouvelées, hein, comme un point focal planétaire d'extériorisation. Euh, et cette énergie est en train de tout transformer. Il y a- il y a- c'est- Tout est en train de se transformer dans le tissu éthérique planétaire, sur la planète entière. C'est déjà en train de se transformer. Euh, et c'est ce qui produit tous ces bouleversements, voilà, du coup. Mais c'est irrésistible. Voilà, du coup, c'est ça mon partage. Ce que je vois du plan qui va s'amener, pour les 100 prochaines années, je vois la vie en fait. La vie partout. La vie irrésistible, la vie avec un grand V, bien sûr, hein. Et, et du coup, c'est la vie et l'amour du Verseau, hein. Voilà, du coup, c'est vraiment les deux courants dans les travaux d'Hercule de l'Alphée et du Péné, hein. L'Alphée et le Péné, les deux rivières, hein. Voilà, du coup, les deux sont entrelacés, la vie et l'amour, et c'est ensemble que ça constitue une clé, une clé d'ouverture pour la réalisation du plan. Voilà, merci.
Dear Michelina, you wrote something in the chat, uh, I guess in Portuguese. Can you voice it and then the translation will translate it for us? Then we could understand what you wrote. If you could even maybe reading it. But please select in the captions your language in which you will be speaking.
I am Italian. I don't
So
speak English. Don't speak English.
speak Italian, please. We will understand. We can read captions.
Io credo che la tecnologia oggi abbia contribuito molto a quell'unità di intento e di formare i gruppi che il maestro Dwalkul ha tanto raccomandato.
Excuse me, Michelina, please choose Italian in the captions. Then it will translate correctly. Now we cannot read it yet.
Scusa, dove nelle didascalie? Italiana.
So in the menu in the captions,
Non ce l'ho
choose your
forse.
language as Italian, please.
One moment. One moment. I don't.
It's at the bottom of the screen. It says captions, show captions. And if you press there,
In fondo allo schermo c'è scritto
choose the
didascalie.
language in Italian.
In Italian seems to be didascalie, the captions. That's what you need to find. Dovrebbe trovare didascalie o qualche cosa così.
I don't see, non lo vedo, I don't see. I don't know. Non c'è. Non c'è, non c'è.
Meanwhile, I use the Google Translate and I can read what Michelina you wrote in the chat. Is it okay? So I can even show. Okay. I believe that technology has contributed greatly to creating that unity of group and purpose so desired by Master Decay. Today, we have the opportunity to quickly share ideas and projects and to exchange opinions and how to carry forward the work of expanding light on the planet. Thank you. I can share one recognition that started to become more and more obvious in this last months. Many groups now focus on distribution of energies that we are contacted this year. Just last week, Lucis Trust organized a meeting specifically focusing on this task of distribution, more specifically distribution of the Great Invocation, the work of triangles, the world goodwill, but also in a more general sense, distribution of the, we can say, radiance of the teachings. And the way I see it is that the new group of world servers is as a connecting tissue that connects the world invisible and the world visible. Similar to the same as in the human body, the role played by Nadi network. So there are energy centers, there are chakras, then Nadi, then lymphatic system, glands, and the physical organs. And so Nadi works as that distributing network of the energy received and distributed by energy centers, 7 energy centers and 49 smaller centers, to the physical organs that actually make our bodies function and do all the things that needs to be done on the physical plane. And so the same things happening with the all meditating groups. It is our function to distribute the energy that we contact in our meditation further into the system, further to those groups, networks, organizations that directly serve the needs of humanity, to those physical organs, so to speak, that contribute into the liveliness of humanity. So it is our task. It feels like it is now our task to focus on distribution now and in the next months and the next years, probably. Especially remembering what DK said, that what happened in 1925, when the shambolic impulse of 1925 been directed to humanity, but there were not enough of people of goodwill and disciples, trained disciples, to receive and distribute that impulse to humanity for the benefit of humanity. And instead, it was intercepted by forces of materialism. So in order to avoid that, this time, 100 years later, it is the function, an important function that we're supposed to play.
Can I say something? Aujourd'hui, nous avons travaillé toute la journée en petits groupes sur la libération transgénérationnelle. C'est-à-dire on a essayé on a contacté ces énergies, voilà, de l'âme et au-delà, pour laisser s'écouler ces énergies à travers la forme le corps mental, émotionnel et physique de toutes les lignées. Et du coup, en partant d'une lignée, d'une génération, on s'est aperçu qu'en fait, on était reliés tous les uns aux autres en une humanité une depuis l'époque préhistorique et au-delà. Et du coup, cette libération et cette guérison qui se fait par l'énergie de la vie et de l'amour, voilà, et passant par l'âme, et qui vient jusqu'au chakra, voilà, qui vient jusqu'à tous les chakras planétaires. En fait, c'est en nous, mais en chaque humain. Et en fait, cette énergie qui s'écoulait, qui se libérait, euh, était, oui, c'est le mot libération qui nous est venu. Libération et guérison de l'humanité tout entière à travers le corps éthérique planétaire. Et du coup, ce sont les chakras planétaires qui sont touchés, ce sont les chakras de tous les humains qui sont touchés, et de l'humanité comme un tout. Et du coup, alors c'est un travail subtil, mais en même temps, on a senti la transformation qui se faisait euh, euh, en étant juste des canaux de transmission. Et là, il y a une coopération avec les devas qui se met automatiquement en place, puisqu'on est rassemblés en anneaux de groupe, hein. on reçoit le feu quelque part qui descend. Voilà. On a l'impression qu'il y a un déva à ce moment-là qui bien plus grand que nous, un grand déva qui amène son énergie et on est juste là à la recevoir et à la transmettre à ce que tu viens de dire, Alexander, les chakras, les nadis et le corps éthérique de chacun de nous, de chacun des groupes et de l'humanité entière. Et là, on sent cette unité de l'humanité. Voilà, c'est une façon pratique, en fait, d'amener, de distribuer les énergies éthériquement. Voilà, du coup. Merci.
Alexander, are you able to put that in translation for us? Also,
No, it was put in, it's showed in the subtitles, translated subtitles. So that's why it's if in order to activate the subtitles on the control panel at the bottom of the screen, you just have to press show captions, and you will see when the other languages than English spoken, you will see the translation.
I don't have that option at the bottom of my computer unless it's under more.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Is
Captions, yes, thank you. I found it.
You found it? Okay.
Captions, right?
Captions, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
I would like to say something about the radiation. It's I'm sorry. There's a lot of background noise. I understood the family were going out, and at the moment I can hear a piano, a violin, and a ukulele playing in the background, which is not. This idea about the externalization of the hierarchy, I sometimes think about Jesus as representing the Christ when he showed up on earth 2,000 years ago. There were very few people who were conscious of his presence, and it sort of spread the knowledge over 2,000 years. So I think it's not impossible that there are people on the planet, maybe in various countries, that are, I mean, they may not be fully hierarchy, but that have open hearts, that are radiating. And I think because so many people seem to feel this love energy, this radiation from the heart, and I wonder if it is being stimulated or by Christ wherever he is, or it is. I just have this very deep sense of this radiation, and I practice with our group radiatory healing, which says you link with the soul, the various triangles, and then you radiate through your aura, and how great is your aura. It is as far as your radiation will radiate. And I think that's what people are doing, the radiation and their auras, or the etheric. I don't think it really matters. Like Jack is saying, young groups talk in different terms, but they have this group idea. They have this respect for one another and this love for one another. Not being terribly coherent, but it's just to say how much I feel this radiation of love from all sorts of groups. So thank you.
I have recently subscribed to the Christian Science Monitor to try to find a newspaper that doesn't have complete doom and gloom. And quite a few times a week, they have a story. They have stories from around the world, obviously every day, but they have a feel-good, as they call it, story, which is an act of kindness and generosity and graciousness and deep love and commitment to their community from different countries around the world. And most of them are going through tremendous struggles. And it just shows that the heart within humanity is strong and is there. And it's just covered. But that population, I think, is getting much, much larger. And perhaps thanks to all the distension and the hatred that's in the world right now, people are beginning to rise up and say, no, we are better than this, and we do love. And well, it's like if this was 100 years in coming, each change, it's like a train with 100 carriages. It got up steam slowly, then it trundled along, and then it started coming to a stop, and now it has to start again. And so it will be kind of a bit slow as it starts, maybe, and then it will chug along, I'm guessing. I hope. Thanks.
So there's another message that Michelina shared with us on the chat. So I will read from the Google Translate. What saddens me a little is the absence of the younger generations. Today's young people who are so busy with work, family commitments, and worries. They are always in a hurry. They don't have time to think what can be done, because in my opinion, this is a big problem. you're young, Alex, but if you look at your classmates, we are all getting on in years. It's an important question. Thank you for bringing it up, Michelina. And it's regularly comes up in different conversations in different groups around the world. And my sense that, of course, it's important to transmit the teachings to the next generations. But I don't think we should worry about that per se. What is more important is to imbibe for us as we are, who we are, in whatever age, body we are, to embody the teachings ourselves. Because in a way, the teaching given by Master Decay 100 years ago or 70 years ago, it was given for our generations, for your generation, for my generation, for this time. And it is teaching that was given for us to embody and to live and to act by. And so if we do that, the radiance of the teachings will come through us, and the young generations will come. Younger people, I mean, will come attracted by that light. And another point, it's about the crisis of these days. Yesterday we attended the New Moon meeting at Lucis Trust here in New York, and a very good friend, Manuel, he's originally from Ghana. He just came back from Ghana. He's spent there 6 months, and he said, the crisis is everywhere, and it's good. The more crisis is, the better, because that's what makes people to wake up. And so I thought of this story that was during the World War in concentration camps. There was I forgot the name of the psychologist who made observations that those people who had the purpose, they could survive and they could maintain their dignity and their human presence. And so it's not to compare to our experience to the experience that horrendous experience of camps, but is that the crisis pushes to the limits of finding the meaning. And this is the experience that makes us to wake up. And in a way, this crisis of now, it's a crisis, first of all, crisis for awakening for those who are potential members of the new group of world servers. They will come no matter what. As a result of this crisis, in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years, there will be new waves of people who woke up through this crisis, through this chaos that we're experiencing now, and they will continue carrying the flame of the teachings. The teaching survives millennia, and they will continue surviving. So we should not worry about it. Jacqueline, please unmute.
Also, I think that both in physics, laws of physics, but also in society, that if we can hold the context of the disaster, the breakdown, the destruction, and see that as an easier way to make deep change, that tweaking institutions and making little baby steps for shifting societies, institutions and culture, etc. I think we may look at this as the disaster of the destruction, but I also see that because of the extremity of the destruction and the focus of the destruction, certainly in our administration, it paves the way for starting over from truth and consciousness and a whole new foundation of society's institutions, whether they be law, education, medicine, all of these things affecting us daily. So the other thing that I hold is that this gives us an opportunity when things are really just knocked down to go, how do we really want to build up a new society and culture with these institutions? What they all, everything needs to change and grow. So, but maybe it's better that it's not just going to take a baby step to make it better, an improvement. But it's torn down. Where do we really begin with the essence of what should be the foundation of institutions, the foundations of truth, of goodness, of beauty, these examples of a foundational beginning, and then build institutions, inform life. So we start in the consciousness, and then we build in the form from that deeper consciousness that we have gained as a result of all these lifetimes on the planet that we've all had. So that's another way I think we can hold this cycle of destruction and war and greed and materialism. I guess that's what, and in physics, they say that this operates out of law of physics as well. I'm no physicist, but that it operates similarly, that shifts can more easily transition into a higher order. When we talk about a higher order of things, when we start from zero rather than trying to fix everything and, Band-Aids.
Here's another post from Michelina. May suffering bring the deserved reward of light and love. Unfortunately, it is still true that only suffering awakens hearts. Let's hope that soon this will no longer be necessary. Thank you. Well, in a way, it's the awakening happens through suffering on the involutionary arch of the path. As soon as we turn and we awaken to the soul, exactly as you say, Michelina, it's not needed anymore. Then we can learn through conscious recognition. And so then that's become the path and the method.
I was thinking earlier today about your President Trump. And I suddenly saw very, very clearly that he was a sort of, we're talking about going on the path, a signpost. And the more you can see that desire for materialism personified, in some ways it makes it easier to choose the path to the hierarchy, to the kingdom of souls, into the soul light. And he serves a purpose by pointing out that difference, which is the way.
Just to add to um, this idea of starting from zero, it reminds me of the plant kingdom when the new life stems from decaying old life, around the seed to nurture it, yet it doesn't become this new life. It just gives the energy and whatever nurture comes from this, to the new life. Yeah. And whatever examples we have in front of us, moving, and acting, and sometimes I think, this is going to be good, but then somebody does this, and you realize, no, that's not really the way. And I think that's the beauty of the group life or group consciousness, assessing whatever is happening in the world through this multi-layered vision, and this knowledge passing through group consciousness becomes accessible to many. What I think is also important.
I like the analogy of nature because we know that burning fires, sometimes we wonder, why would you consciously burn this whole beautiful land area? But that's how you regenerate. So the fire burning of nature is often what is needed and necessary for that new growth, because we don't want to just grow more of what we've always had. We want to grow something new, a new consciousness, a new way of seeing and holding life and our relationships to one another. So we don't want just more of the same. And I think that fire burning is what is happening. The fire burns not only to destroy, but the fire burns to build a passion and an energy in us to go forward and take action.
Yeah, fire aspiration.
I've been thinking a lot about the word insistence, and how the crisis that we're in as a collective is insisting on us turning up and insisting on us engaging and insisting on us radiating love and awe and compassion and wonder. It's insisting on us kind of delving into our toolboxes, trusting that we are equipped, that we have what we need to participate in the opportunities that it's presenting. And I know for myself, one of those is that deep practice of self-forgetfulness and harmlessness and right speech that's in the mantra of the new group of world servers, and how hard that can be sometimes. And yet, if we see circumstances that arise as an opportunity to practice, I find that helpful. As a poet friend said once, it's not easy, but it's not impossible either.
I remember this story that I think it's Alice Bailey's autobiography, or maybe some other places, that the conversation she had with one of the students that said that they have a calm life out of crisis, or they reached a certain level of perfection, so there is no crisis. And Alice said, like, too bad. Make sure you have a crisis in your life as a way to move forward. Don't get stuck. If you don't have a crisis, invent one.
Lawson Bracewell always used to say, if you're in crisis, you can know you're on the right track.
It actually means too, I think in Asia, the either opportunity or danger. And I think that it's both for us now.
Another recognition that came this month was when Marina Bernardi and Dot Maver was visiting us, and we were just sitting in our kitchen talking, and recognition came that actually we are ourselves, we're seeds of the United Nations, the United Nations of the future. So when we connect to each other directly like this, when we talked, now we are blessed with technology, absolutely, as Michelina wrote at the beginning, and we can have these connections, we can build these bridges. And so, seen as the United Nations now struggling through the crisis of international institutions, it is an opportunity for the new United Nations of people like us, to emerge. And specifically us as students of ageless wisdom, who, when we can connect with each other due to the teaching through the books that we share and cherish, we can easily connect to each other and recognize our unity and transcend the boundaries of cultures and languages. So that is where the actual united humanity, it's a seed for the future united humanity. And it also puts on us a certain responsibility, because we experiencing it, we live in this, and we need to make this reality that we're already experiencing accessible for others in whatever way possible.
Une impression très forte qui m'est venue à la pleine lune, c'était que nous devons nous agenouiller en tant que serviteurs du monde, comme Hercule dans le marais, voilà, du coup, pour soulever l'hydre. Bon, c'était dans le Scorpion, ça, d'accord. Mais en tout cas, nous devons nous agenouiller pour pouvoir toucher tous les humains. Voilà. Merci.
Are there any more impressions that you would like to share, please?
One little thing popped into my head when Helen was speaking. It was something, did you say a pointing of a finger, Helen, or something like that? Tom used to say it's a Master M saying, "We masters are very busy. You must stay very alert and pay attention to a pointing of the finger." It was something that was rather. So what is the pointing of the finger that's with us today? Thank you.
Kiki, you made me think about it's some Hermetic work, an image of an angel that is seated on a stone, I think, and the angel is pointing somewhere. And basically the message of this image is, do not look at the finger, but rather to where it is pointing.
It's interesting to think about it, where the finger pointing now. Today is this interstellar object that moves through our solar system is the closest to the planet. And to think about it as a finger, where it's pointing to us. And yeah, it's this interstellar visitor. What kind of message it brings? It brings so many questions to us, and definitely expands our horizons. And it's also feels like one of the messages of this time, expanding our horizons far more further than we could ever imagine.
I was with a group earlier, just two other ladies, and talking on God and prayer and the sacred. And well, maybe it was yesterday. When did Sri Ayatla? Anyway, it was the few moments that we sat there. When we came out, all three of us were sort of had tears streaming down our faces, and we couldn't quite understand this love that had sort of come in to all three of us. It was terribly beautiful and uplifting, and it was just love, like you had touched God, that we didn't look at the finger, but he was there, maybe. I don't know, maybe it was Sri Atlas. But
So I will read the translation of a message from Michelina. Quantum physics speaks of a unified field, and Rudolf Steiner spoke of the Akasha. As you said, Alex, our transformation is truly important, expanding love and compassion, because everything that happens on Earth is reflected in this field. And those who are ready will awaken and embrace these waves of loving energy.
And I think also it not only affects those who are ready, but I think that tapping at the heart and awakening, just letting it know that love is there, it is helping some people to become ready, or to wake up a little bit, that energy. It's just that little taste that may just waken the heart up a little bit.
I need a time check because I thought it was 1 hour and I have something I need to go to, but is it an hour and a half group?
Yes, we normally allocate 90 minutes for this meeting, but sometimes we end sooner because it's just a natural flow of conversation. We weave together our impressions, but please feel free, yes, like if you need to leave, absolutely.
Thank you all. It was
Really
lovely.
great to have you in
Thank
our
you,
circle.
everyone. Thanks.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
What is for me of importance, of significance in this month is now I am traveling at the moment, looking at the world from different angles and how important this is. I'm now in the Americas, at the moment in New York, and I was in Costa Rica. So to look at the place where I am at the moment living in Germany, in Europe, from outside, gives me a different way to, a wider perspective from which to understand and to address this country or this continent of Europe and what Europe is going through. I do appreciate, when I'm in a place. I was many years I was living in Jerusalem, and when we are in a hotspot, especially, then we are aware of different things that we are not aware of when we are outside, and the same is true for the other way around. When we are outside of a place, then we can see things that we can't see when we are there. So I guess the point I want to make is that it's really, I find it important for disciples to look at the world from different angles. And of course, as we look naturally at the world from different angles, so it's very important to share our angles, our what we see from these different points on the planet. So I'm appreciative of what we are doing here, specifically this kind of sharing, where we can see also different puzzle pieces and also together what is precipitating for us as part of the new group of world servers.
This is another message from Shalina. In the second stanza of the Great Invocation, it reads, "May the night emerge from the secret place and bring salvation with his coming." So it's, may the rider from the secret place come forth and come and save. Do you think three-eye Atlas could be the rider, the secret night? Maybe someone wants to comment on it. I don't have any specific recognitions on that, but if I remember correctly, when DK explains the who is the rider, it's the Christ. It's the coming avatar, the savior. But if anyone would like to share about this, please.
I don't know where it is written, but somewhere DK says that avatars sometimes use comets to ride on.
So when we
was speaking earlier, pointing the finger. Also, DK does say how important it is to be able to see symbols. He said, you know, they're always there, these symbols, and so often we don't see the symbols. And then, having seen the symbol, it is then to learn what that symbol is telling us. So it may not actually be the knight or the Christ, but it may well be a symbol of that coming that I think we're all alert to well. So look for the symbols.
Were there not, you astrologers there, were there not a couple of planets also conjunct at the same time? Or
well, we are preparing now for very important conjunctions that will happen in February of Saturn and Neptune coming together in the first degree of Aries, inaugurating the new cycle. And there was a touch of these conjunctions in the 0 degree of Aries earlier this year. Then both planets retrograded back into Pisces. And now they're again coming direct back to Aries. And so that would be the actual moment of their conjunctions. I forgot, I think it's 19th of February or 20th of February, that week of February, around the Valentine's Day. I remember soon after the St. Valentine's Day. And astrologer, esoteric astrologer who I listened, she was saying that that is the mark of actual new beginning. So it's the new era begins with this conjunctions of those so different planets in its energy, but they coming together in the 0 degree, in the first degree of Aries, is the like a launch of the everything new. So we were talking earlier about these fires that destroys the old grows and giving the way to new seeds to sprout. So that's might be that impulse of new sprouts starting. Thank you, friends. Let us continue holding this receptive field of the one planetary server that we are part of. And we'll meet again next month at the new moon of Capricorn and share what will be recognized by our groups in different circles that we meet, and bringing those recognitions into this circle and to share together. Claire, may I invite you to sound the mantra of light for us. I will bring it on the screen now. So as a way of closing our work together, before we have our closing ritual that Daniela will lead. Over to you, Claire.
Mantra of the light. Radiance we are, and power. We stand forever with our hands stretched out, linking the heavens and the earth, the inner world of meaning and the subtle world of glamour. We reach into the light and bring it down to meet the need. We reach into the silent place and bring from thence the gift of understanding. Thus with the light we work and turn the darkness into day. Oh.
We'll finish with our usual ritual, where with the last sentence of the great invocation, we scoop the light and love and power, bring it into the plane of this little word of ours, open our hands in blessing, where we pronounce the first Om, the second Om, and then the third with our open hands in gesture of generosity. So let's go. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Om. 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 Goodbye, dear friends.
And a joyful and blessed Christmas and holy season to us all. Much love.
Thank you.
Thank you, friends.